But there is another side of the story, a difficult forgiveness. Someone will say, I will never forgive that person. Or maybe the grievance is too severe, or perhaps the shame is too deep. And indeed, forgiveness should never be seen just as an easy, quick step. It must come from the heart, and it has to be genuine. Secondly, there are situations beyond the scope of two people simply just forgiving each other. For example, the conflict is between families, or it's on an organizational level, so it's bigger than two people. Or the conflict has been going on for years, and there is deep pain and trauma, and this needs real healing, and it might take time. Or there is a complete breakdown of trust, so forgiveness may be gradual and even conditional. Now, forgiveness does not mean to overlook the other person's wrong or simply to say, well, it's okay, never mind, because it wasn't okay. Nor does it mean to bypass legal matters, and nor does it mean to forget the pain or the offense, which probably is impossible. You can't just forget it. But forgiveness means to let go of the struggle and the desire to hurt back or to get even. It means to release the pain and the shame, to stop nurturing the bitterness against the other person, and even to begin to pray for God's blessings for the other person. Now, direct or indirect talk. It seems to me that conflict resolution courses, especially the Peacemaker method, often assume the individualist position of direct speech, where telling like it is, albeit in love, is valued and even expected. Without being open about how one feels, the Peacemaker method just wouldn't work. So I wonder, how does this work in cultures where indirect communication is the ingrained lifestyle? For example, Dadu comes from a communal culture, and he struggled with the leader who was from an individualist culture. And the leader struggled with Dadu a little bit. So in their one-on-one talks, Dadu shared with the leader that all is well. He also shared with the board chair that all is well, there are no problems. Then later, Dadu went to an associate and shared with the associate that he, that is Dadu, wanted to make sure that all would be well between him, Dadu, and the leader. But he had just told the leader that all is well. So how could the two ever do a peacemaking approach in such a situation? Now, let me speak to my friends and colleagues from communal cultures. For those of you who struggle to speak directly when there are relational breaches. Now, I would say the more upfront you can be, albeit in graciousness and love, the more you will avoid misunderstandings. Now, as you share concerns, disagreements openly, you will actually deepen your relationship with each other and the trust with each other. Being open with each other helps to solve problems sooner so that you can move on. When you do not speak directly regarding the problem at hand, an individualist-oriented person thinks, that person is afraid and they just lack courage. Or they might say, that person wants to avoid the issue and doesn't really care about the conflict. Or they might say, this is just a sign of that person's irresponsibility. But here's a word to peacemaking advocates who assume direct and honest talk is a given. Here's a few things for you to keep in mind. Be careful how easily you claim that this is the biblical approach. It is easy to articulate that you must separate the person from the problem at hand. However, in honor-shame societies especially, where social harmony is highly valued, the person and their ideas are integrated. Everything is connected to everything and everyone. So any form of criticism or correction is interpreted as a personal or even communal attack. Now, also keep in mind that direct approaches, they do work in communal cultures if you are an insider and you know how to negotiate the nuances of relationships within the communal culture. Outsiders using direct speech with someone from another culture may easily disregard the nuances. And even language itself reflects the difference between direct and indirect culture. So here's a cup. And did you break the cup or did the cup fall and slip? Which one is it? Now, the open talk or the direct talk often ignores the deep inward pain of shame. If the greatest offense is to shame a person, and even worse, if it's done in public, we can cause someone to lose face, lose their identity, and it's almost like they lose their life. We simply cannot ignore this reality. Take some time to go through this activity, the carefronting approach in a multicultural team.